We are happy to be joined alongside to kick off the show, driver of the number 35 for Greg VanAlst Motorsports and winner in the ARCA Menards Series at Daytona just a short time ago. Greg VanAlst joins us on the show. Greg, pleasure to have you here tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So let's jump right into things. First and foremost, we're going to talk about your win at Daytona, which was an incredible feat there, and really happy to see that. But let's kind of get a little background on you for the listeners who might not know a lot about you. Tell us a little bit about this journey that has been your racing career so far.
To sum it up, make it short, I've been racing for 26 years, and 3 years ago, 2019 race season, we won the CRA Super Series Late Model Championship, and that gave us the opportunity to run an ARCA car at Daytona in the test session, and that just created a desire to, I don't know if you want to call it bucket list race, but a desire to try to see if we could compete at the next level and move into ARCA, and so this will be this was our third attempt at Daytona, and yeah, it's a pretty good weekend.
So you really have you're one of the short track guys in a sense, one of the local guys. Tell us what racing at the local tracks and the short tracks really means to you, and how it's led you back to, a big stage like the ARCA.
Well, it's all that we've ever really done. The short track level, it's a group of people that, bust their butts during the week, that go to work, whether they're fencers like us or work in a factory or electricians or whatever it is that they do, and they work on their stuff in the evenings, and they go race on the weekends, and very passionate about the sport because, as we all know, racing, especially at the short track level, it costs way more money to go do it than it does than what you're going to win. And, it's just a very passionate group of people that race for the love of racing, and they're your kind of people, right? Because they're from your area. They're your they may even be your competition, through your business outside of the racetrack. So you create a family in a sense when you go to the short tracks and race on a week in, week out basis.
So your career also can be summed up as really two different parts in a sense, because a couple of years back you made your debut and you ran a couple of races, I believe, in the ARCA Series. Tell us a little bit about stepping aside, coming back, and what that has really entailed, and that experience.
Yeah, so 16 years ago or so, I quit racing. I basically couldn't afford to do it no more. Wife, new baby, just life happening. And standing on the back of the trailer, looking out as I'm watching all these trucks come in, and every truck that's coming in seems like it's got some construction name on it. And was standing there talking with one of my pit buddies and was like, man, I need to start some sort of construction company. Maybe that's where it's at. Maybe I can work up enough money just to go racing on just doing something like that. So I started a fence company and got busy. Had a nasty wreck is kind of where it all started. And I sold out all the stuff that I had left, but started the fence company and took, 3 or 4 years at least off, and then turned around and got back into go-karts. And I was like, I'll just be content racing go-karts. And then, I ended up back in a modified and then, doing the late model stuff. So a little bit of a different journey than a lot, but very thankful for the people that I've met along the way.
So let's talk about that win at Daytona a couple weeks back. How did it all come together? Tell us a little bit about the weekend itself and what went down on Saturday afternoon in the Brent 200?
Most of the day, I mean, the weekend, going into the weekend, we were pretty confident that we had good stuff, had a good car. But I mean, it's professional, racing. So we're a smaller team and don't have teammates, and we didn't know what the race was going to entail. But it seemed like a lot of people were coming to us and telling us, "Hey, we'd like to work with you." So kind of felt like it might be a good opportunity for us to capitalize, and qualified 7th and got into the race, and we pretty much stayed inside the top 5 the entire race, led some laps around halfway, and once that kind of check mark was, kind of checked and bucket list is, okay, we've led laps, then we started going into what do we got to do to win. Just kept trying to position ourselves to be in the front, and then kind of come down to the last few laps. I think there was, 3 laps to go on that last restart, and I knew I just had to keep the 44 checked out front. I think the car that started second, I felt like was the strongest car of everybody that we had raced with all day long. And I felt like if I could get lock bumpers with the 44 and get him pushed out, it might give us an opportunity to only have to race him for the win. And it kind of played out just perfect. We come to the white, and I kind of backed off of him, trail brake a little bit to get a run, and I got a run right through the middle of 1 and 2, got back to him coming off a 2, shoved him out again, and kind of backed up to the 18 car, and with his help getting pushed to the 44, caught the run. I kind of felt like I was pulling out a little early, but was able to get to him, side draft him a little bit, and then just kind of had to start watching the mirror from there, and that was it.
So you got a nice new trophy now, and obviously I would assume you're prepping your car for whatever next race it is. But what do you got going on with the trophy? Where's the trophy sitting at now?
The trophy is actually sitting on my fireplace mantle, sitting right next to my late model championship trophy, and we're getting everything ready to go to Phoenix. Excellent.
So what does the rest of the season schedule, not only just ARCA, but maybe your whole racing for 2023? What do you got on the docket?
So I don't have any late model stuff anymore. I sold it all a little over a year ago to put full focus on the ARCA stuff. So we're focused just on the ARCA season. But I have a son that's 11, and we plan on doing some races with him in a Legends car. I'm hoping to get to the Indianapolis Speedrome, Mount Lawn, maybe some at Salem, and maybe Anderson Speedway. So we'll be definitely going to the short tracks, and if I'm not racing and he's not racing, I'm sure we'll be somewhere sitting in the stands watching.
Cool. Now, just quickly to jump back to Daytona for a second, that raw emotion from when you got out of the car and did that interview at the start-finish line. Tell us what was going through your mind after winning that race at that point, with a camera right in front of you and a microphone.
So it all stems down to, man, it's just everything I've ever dreamed of, right? And what I pictured, and I just ran into a guy at lunch that's a short track racer from the Anderson area, and he tells me exactly what was pictured in my mind. And I remember for 23 years, before I ever got a chance to go to Daytona, I was usually out in the garage at Speed Weeks, and I've got the TV on while I'm working on my stuff, and I'm watching the races happening, dreaming that one day I'll get to do that. And, when I got out of the car and I'm like, guys like me aren't supposed to do this, it's like, for one, I'm a little bit up there in age, so there's that factor. and two, as long of a road as it's been and as hard as we've worked, I just always just thought it was going to be a dream. And, at that moment, like, everything I've dreamed of is coming true. I mean, who doesn't dream of, whether it's the, game-winning shot with 2 seconds left to go or bottom of the ninth? I mean, my dream has always been to make a last lap pass at Daytona. And, everything was just coming out how it came out. And like I said, I was just kind of thinking of all the times that I've been sitting in my shop, garage, whatever, working on my stuff, dreaming of just being able to race there. And, that's where that came from.
Excellent. So, obviously, we're up in the Northeast, but you never know. Sponsorship is always something you want to acquire and get. If somebody's listening to the show and they want to get a hold of you and maybe help with sponsorship this season at a racetrack or whatnot, how can people learn more about your team and racing career, and how could they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so CB Fabricating's back on board again this year, but we have space available. So if anybody's interested, they can reach out to us on any of the social media pages, but I've also created a site called sponsorteam35.com, and we have spots on the race car for each race as low as $250. I think we're getting ready because we've had quite a few fans reach out and ask how they could help that don't own businesses. And I think we're getting ready to start like an Amazon wish list or something to kind of help get our consumables paid, like our oil filters, brake clean, stuff like that, stuff that, $20 would pay for. We got a program that'll fit any budget.
Very cool. ARCA Menard Series Daytona Brent 200 winner Greg VanAlst joining us here on our In the Turn interview tonight on Miles on Motorsports right here on 95.9 WATD. And Greg, appreciate the conversation. Look forward to seeing you out at a racetrack hopefully very soon. And again, thanks so much for joining us here tonight.